Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 56 of LostinTranslationmon. I'm May.
And I'm Jay.
And this week we're just going to talk and think about our thoughts on 02 as a whole. And Jay's going to try his best not to lose his temper because he's still upset over Blackwall Greymon, I think.
Rip in pieces this crap season.
So we have some exciting news, and we'd like to do something a little bit special for our listeners. For a limited time, the awesome guys at Schnook Crafts have given us a coupon code for their shop. And that gives you 20% off anything in their store. The code is exclusive to LostinTranslationmon listeners and won't be advertised anywhere else. They have some amazing Digimon props like Digivices, tags, crests, Myotismon's gate cards, black gears, and even blue cards from Tamers, which we're about to start, so it's topical. And I actually own the blue card from Tamers. I have that in my collection. For Jay's first Christmas, he bought me a Crest Sincerity from Schnook Crafts. Anyway, so the coupon code will run for a week from today until Friday. They also have a ton of stuff from other franchises too, like Pokemon Evolution Stone, gym badges, and it's all handmade. The coupon code is store-wide, so definitely take a peek. The coupon code is MAYJ, one word, MAYJAY.
And as a special extra, if you hop onto Facebook and like the Schnook Crafts page between today and Friday, and send them a message mentioning this podcast, you'll be entered into a $50 store credit. Sort of raffle, I guess?
Draw.
That's the word I was looking for anything in their shop, which includes free shipping. The winner will be announced next Sunday. So once again, the coupon code for 20% off the entire Schnook Crafts store for LostinTranslationmon listeners is MayJ, and like their Facebook page for a chance to win $50 store credit and free shipping.
So that's very exciting, and we look forward to it. Like, as I said, I love Schnook Crafts, and yeah. So definitely check that out.
This is my favourite kind of capitalism, the one that benefits our listeners.
Definitely. Our first message this week is from Faxmith on With the Will, and he says, "It's been really fun being with you guys since the beginning, and now we're done with adventure. I cannot wait for Decatomon. I might not now write every week, but I hope that you do know that I always find it amusing to listen to you guys talk about Digimon. May, hang in there. Keep defending our beloved toy commercial from the clutches of Jay's sound logic." P.S. I totally think May won the last Digimon Rumble Arena. I totally think that arguing that Yamato's substitution would be better and made him a worse character is legit. Just because Jay hadn't thought it out before doesn't make it not valid.
Okay, that's fine, I guess.
On Gmail, John Summers said that 02 was a disappointment as a sequel. It has a lot of ideas, but has too many of them, which makes it feel rushed to get all the ideas out.
That's correct.
It did have some good plot lines, like the Digimon Kaiser, the Dark Ocean, and Demon.
Only one of which they saw through to the end. And even then, there are still hanging elements of it.
Yeah, but the Demon, I think, had the Demon Core arc, like mini arc.
Two episodes.
Had the best episodes, though.
Sure.
Well, some good, because you gave one of them a 10.
I did do that, you're right.
And I think another high episode was a Dark Ocean. Like, our highest episodes were in those sort of episodes, so I would agree there. John Summers continues to say that he would still recommend a newbie to watch 02 because of Ken, and that's the only reason.
I would make them stop after a certain point.
I would have them watch until, I'd have them watch until they've defeated Ken.
Alternatively, you have them watch until they've defeated Ken, then you give them you give them, of the next 30 episodes, you give them a list of 10 that they should watch.
Yeah, and like the ones that aren't filler.
But here's the thing is, some of them are important, like Veemon evolving, but that episode sucks. So
that was a bad episode.
So you just skip it, oh, by the way, he evolves in this one.
Yeah, or give them a summary of all the lackluster episodes.
Yeah, and those summaries would be like one sentence.
Yeah,
this important thing happened.
Remember that thing that happened when Taichi was forcing his Digimon to evolve, and it became evil and it almost killed everyone?
No, the reason we're giving them summaries is so they don't have to think about that.
Yeah, and just forget about that. He does the same thing and nothing happens. We also have an email from Chuckmon, who says that they also enjoyed movie 4. It's cute and fun with adorable animation. And for a short movie, it's got a good story. Chuckmon says that he loved the scenes with the Megamon on the screen in Shibuya and the entire scenery of the movie. And I really do like movie 4.
I like that they randomly fight on water, so they don't have to animate any buildings being destroyed or anyone being in any actual danger.
That's a point. That's a point. Also, they don't have to do that many backdrops, I guess.
Yep.
Chuckmon says that he also loved the intro being from Frontier because he loves Frontier. And he wished that the movies were released on DVD in English. He says that Diaboromon's web wrecker is dumb, And he's looking forward to us starting Tamers.
Webwrecker?
That was his attack in the dub.
Oh, I just remember Destiny Destroyer. We got a review on Stitcher from Frost Miragic. Is it Frost Miragic?
Miragic. It's Miragic.
It's Miragic.
Yeah, you pronounced it correctly.
They say that they've never been much of a podcast person, but when they heard the description, they decided to give us a try and have become hooked since. There's so many reasons to listen to this show. For the comparison between Japanese and English, for the fun perspective of a Digimon fanatic and a Digimon critic, and for the hilarious hosts themselves.
We're hilarious.
Sometimes. Appreciated. And diehard fans will, of course, be a little turned off by the criticism. We got some harsh things said about episode 1, but we powered on. And now...
Yeah, because you said Angela Anaconda was better than Digimon.
It was.
That's how to really upset a Digimon fan.
That shit probably wasn't, all things considered, looking back at it. But seriously, actually give it a listen, and you'll find a new way of thinking, positively or negatively. Definitely a must-listen for any fan. And thank you. I take a lot of flack. I took a lot of flack for episode 1.
Yeah, but I think the people who weren't interested in hearing someone being negative don't still listen at episode 56.
No, that's true. And we're 55 episodes beyond.
Like, someone said that they only got halfway through the first episode. I'm like, oh, okay. I promise you, 56 episodes later, I hope we're better.
There should be in the description of episode 1. By the way, 30 episodes from now, he'll give an episode a good review. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, which was, I think Flower Power was the first episode that you... Like, I remember the first, 20, you were just like, I don't want to watch this every week. I had to, convince you to watch it. I was like, come on, you have to watch it. I'm like...
I still don't want to, but you just don't have to convince me anymore.
But I think it wasn't until probably, playing games until you actually said, okay, the writers do have the ability. They have it in them.
They are not horribly incapable of creating a show.
But I think the happiest you've ever been on the podcast about Digimon was when we did the Demon Court 2 episodes, where you really liked both of them, and you were just really happy on the podcast.
I think, because they were both good. Playing games at least had a bad episode next to it, I think.
Well, I think it had an okay episode. I think it had a 7 or something.
It was
Playing
mediocre
games was
in
a 10.
comparison.
And same with Flower Power, which I think you might have given a 9 or a 10.
Maybe. And
the episode before or after it was sort of... okay.
Although, if we were really fair, Flower Power is actually not that good. It just, compared to the rest of the show
everything
before
else,
that point, it's great. So on iTunes, from DeLadybugman, or DeLadybugman, probably, they say there are 2 draws for LostinTranslationmon. The first is that the hosts focus on differences between English and Japanese translations of the series, and the second is that while one host has been a fan of Digimon for years and has a deep attachment to it, the other has never seen the show before.
Which maybe have I not seen the show before? Is that one me?
I've got a really deep attachment.
I'm making a joke, but I'm not very funny.
No, we're hilarious. We're hilarious. It's in the review. It's real now.
Yay!
It's fact. It's on the internet. And no one would just go on the internet and tell lies.
Everything's real on the internet.
May and Jay have fantastic chemistry as hosts and provide two great different perspectives. And May's undying nostalgic love of Digimon and Jay's unbiased cynicism towards it. While the show is too niche to appeal to those who aren't familiar with Digimon, it's a must-listen for any Digimon fan. It's informative for those who have only seen the dub and don't know how much has been changed, and between the hosts' differing opinions, listeners are sure to come to a conclusion that, while Digimon maybe isn't actually the masterpiece we thought it was, it's still okay to love it. We have a friend, actually. Caitlin's never seen Digimon. Listen to our show anyway. But I think that's because they're friends with us.
Yeah. But what I've noticed from a lot of our listeners is that some of them haven't seen the English dub and they've only seen the original, and they've seen their country's version. Like, we have a lot of German listeners and a lot of Brazilian and Spanish listeners and Portuguese, I think, as well. We've got, lots of people who didn't watch the English dub but still sort of have a reference to the English dub just because they are a part of the Digimon fandom, and I'd say the majority of the Digimon fandom have seen the dub or grew up with it.
But if you've seen another language one, it's essentially like seeing the Japanese one because they make so few changes.
Well, one of our listeners, Kaya Leone,
oh my god, every time.
Okay.
Kaya Leone.
I don't know why I want to say Kaya Leone. Kaya Leone says that they're German and they grew up with the German dub, which is a lot closer to the original. And I don't know, I find that interesting that people will still, think about the English dub even if that's not what they grew up on. Because I grew up on the English dub and I didn't watch the original until I was probably in high school. Later on in high school, I was probably about 16.
I grew up on the silent version with no pictures. It was the best version of Digimon.
Because you didn't have to watch it.
Exactly.
On Tumblr, Messonogian Herald says that the Masa subtitles are probably talking about a mother, and it could be a mis-subtitle, like the mother mon they're looking for. And I was like, yeah, it does sound like, when I was trying to work out, I was like, it does sound like mother, but I'm just like, the energy drink?
We're looking for mother, or V, we're not picky. Also, is it Mesonoxian? I don't know.
Messonogian, I asked, I think it was Jean.
Oh, okay.
I think, I don't know, if I missaid that, I'm really sorry.
And from Kyotakamine, presumably. They say that Ty's dub VA did in fact get replaced for the movie 4 dub, since the person who had the role, Joshua Seth, he has 2 first names, retired from voice acting shortly before it got dubbed to become a magician.
That's real. He does hypnotisms. He's on YouTube.
So silly.
He actually has said that he invites Digimon fans to come to him and he'll hypnotize you to think you're a Digimon character.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, I
It's
guess...
my dream. I think he works in Vegas.
Oh, we're never doing that.
It's my dream.
We're never going to Vegas.
It's my dream to be hypnotized by Joshua Seth.
So, Jason Spisak voiced him, I imagine, in movie 4. They've always found it amusing because they're going to make an educated assumption that Jeff Nimoy just looked at the other Shonen Toei anime he directed the dub for, which is Zatch Bell, a show I've never heard of.
Yeah, it's like a blonde kid and he has like a weird face, I think. I know, that's all I know about Zatch Bell.
Took the voice actor from the main character, Kyo Takamine,
who
I imagine they are a fan of, and threw him Ty's role and went, close enough, it'll work.
Well, I couldn't even tell it was a different voice actor, so he did a good job.
I could tell, and I'm not as big a fan.
No, you're a huge
I think it's
fan.
because you've seen this movie 1,000 times, and to you it sounds normal.
I just put it on mute and just do the voices myself.
You could. Digi, bone,
Did you think I was joking?
No, I've seen you.
I love that movie so much.
I would say I've watched it with you before, but I didn't. You watched it. I was there.
Yeah, I watched it. I'm not sure if you saw my mouth, but I was mouthing every line.
I remember that.
I really like that movie.
Oh, it was so sad.
I really like that movie.
I know. How sad was it, though?
We're going to start off our discussion by talking about our overall favourite episodes.
Okay.
And our least favourite episodes. So first of all, I'll just tell you what my from my third favourite to my first. Don't look at my notes, that's cheating.
They're exactly the same as mine.
Okay, so number 3, Bug Charmer's Trap.
I haven't rated them in order, but I have Arukenemon's Tangled Web. I think that's the same one.
I'm counting them both the 2 episodes.
Yeah, same.
But my reason for liking this as like the part of my top 3 is because I was not looking forward to these 2 episodes. For some reason, I remember not liking them. I thought they were boring. I was like, oh, it's like in my mind, the whole Ken not joining them was more difficult, and I've no idea why I thought that. But I was surprised by these episodes. Also, we had to talk about them twice because this was the episode that
was it?
Yeah, that was the episode that broke.
Oh, that sucks, man. How did we ever get through that?
So yeah, I cried a lot.
Yeah, that's true. I like this episode because of 2 reasons. A, the bad guy's plan totally makes a lot of sense and works, and they
Until
are
the
totally
last
confident in it. And then the solution that the kids come to is primarily themselves. They come up with something creative. They use the environment. They do cool stuff. They use the computer. They have to mess around with the giant mouse, and they use the bug spray and everything. And they get really creative.
Oh yeah.
And I really like that. That's what the Digimon really needs going forward after season 1.
It's looking for a solution that isn't just who can hit the hardest, or who makes the biggest fire.
The only exception to that is the last episode of O2, where they found a different solution, which was wishing really hard.
But it was kind of lame
a crap
a little
solution.
bit. Yeah.
And then our number 2, both is also Call of Dagomon.
But I feel like it would have been even better if it was explained, because the end of the episode seems like it's a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
And the dub even makes it seem like it's a cliffhanger. It's like, I guess we'll find out who this is on the next Digimon. Like, no, we won't.
The worst part about it is that Dagomon has his silhouette, and you never, ever actually see his design.
Yeah, and I showed you his design. You said it was cooler as a silhouette.
Where was that from?
What do you mean?
Because the design never shows up in the show.
It's from the card game.
Wow,
and also,
I really thought it was in the show.
Also, I believe it's also in the Pendulum Deep Sabers, which is a version 2 of the Pendulum, which came out in the year 2000.
So can you pronounce that again? What's it called?
Pendulum. Mon Digimon. Pendulumon. Sono Gagana Mana Mana. Mon Digimon.
That's enough of that.
I love it so much. And This was another episode where I guess there was still, like, who can hit the hardest, but it was more complicated than that.
The primary conflict was, is Kari going insane?
Yeah, and it wasn't her, you know... The fight that happened between the Airdramon and the Angel Woman wasn't even... Like, Airdramon wasn't even the big bad of the episode. It was the things that weren't Divamon.
Yeah, but they weren't evil, necessarily. They were misunderstood.
Yeah. And I just feel like this episode would be better if it was actually continued.
This was a great setup for an arc that never happened.
Yeah.
And it introduced a solution to an arc that I wish hadn't ended with this. Which brings us to our next one. Number 1, we both agree as well. The Invasion of the Demon Core / Dark Sun, Dark Spore.
Yeah. And, yeah, so you're counting the 2 episodes?
Yeah.
Yep, good. Me, because I wrote Invasion of the Demon Core, but then I remember that the next episode was a continuation of it, and it was... You know, it was still the kids saying, oh, I don't want to kill them. And then, you know, the original kids saying, yeah, but you can't, you do have to. And as I've mentioned before, in the first season, the kids never once were, you know, felt bad. Like, I guess they did later on. But at the start...
No, they never did.
I
don't feel they ever...
Mimi was sad about her friends dying.
That's true, but that's different.
Yeah, but they were never said, oh, we just killed the bad guy who was trying to kill us. I'm pretty sure they killed Kuwagamon, right?
Oh, 100%.
Or, like, he fell off the...
They killed
cliff.
tons of Digimon.
Yeah. Like, the first few episodes when it wasn't the Black Gear Digimon, they probably died.
I feel like they killed a bunch of them otherwise. Like, they killed Devimon for sure.
Metal Seedramon, definitely.
Oh, they killed all the Dark Masters, yeah.
Yeah, brutally, Metal Seedramon got, like, shredded. Yeah.
No one felt bad, even. Everyone's like, whatever.
Everyone was happy.
Remember how crazy it was watching Veemon die? Because he just got shot in the face?
Oh, yeah, that was really... I was surprised.
So, yeah, this is... I guess number 1 is the pair of episodes where all of the kids get Digiblood on their hands.
Yeah. And the first part of it, which is Invasion of the Demon Core, have Taichi and Hikari sitting in their room together. And it's very sinister... surroundings, and
it's very somber more than sinister.
Yes, somber's the word I was looking for. And it's shadowy, and they're all, you know, they're not looking very happy, and they're saying, look, we're going to have to tell them that it's time to kill Digimon because they need to. That really
worked out. They sure stuck with that.
Yeah.
One episode it lasted.
Yeah, but it's still like. And it was nice seeing, you know, Iori and Miyako handle dealing with this because they took it in different ways. And Miyako was saved by her Digimon killing.
Oh,
and
Miyako's was the best.
Yes, and the next episode, Miyako's still getting over it. Of course, the dub ruins it.
What a great show. On
to our listener opinions, which I sent these out on social media and on With the Will, and people contacted us through various means. First, Metal Mummy...
Carrier Pigeon? That was weird.
Yeah, Carrier Piamon.
I didn't say that.
I did.
I didn't say that at all.
The first one was Metal Mamimon, who says that they really like the tone of Call of Dagomon, but the fact that the show didn't do anything with the storyline makes the episode feel kind of pointless. I would say Jogress Evolution 2 Hearts Become One is the best in the season, even though I don't think it was as great as a lot of the episodes as in Season 1. Which I think that's to say about a lot of episodes in Season 2, that there were better episodes in Season 1.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because the thing about Season 2 is that it spent a long time kind of trying to establish a lot of the stuff that Season 1 already established.
Yeah.
And then, which is weird coming alongside, it then established lots of weird stuff that Season 1 had never even mentioned. But the problem with those is they were never fully explained. I believe, you know, didn't actually count, but there's probably 5 or 6 totally new mechanics that were never explained.
Yeah. Also, I feel like the golden egg was never really explained. The Digi Magic Miracles.
Okay, yeah.
Like, they never actually said it was destroyed.
No, they never mentioned it.
That was just me saying, well, it's never used again.
They also invented a new one.
Yeah, Destiny. SP says, the best episode for me is the Cthulhu episode, because it's a nice standalone episode with darker and more mature themes, plus it features Hikari and Takeru, and it has good horror-esque vibes with the whole kidnapping the girl to become Dagomon's mate. Runner-up for me is the defeat of the Kaiser, because it was a nice conclusion to the arc, arguably the best arc in 02, and for the first time I didn't mind Daisuke being the protagonist.
I'm not even sure that arguably is a reasonable word here. I don't, because it's the only real arc that goes beginning to end without being super weird.
Oh, well, I do really like the Demon Core arc, but
that is 2 episodes and doesn't end well.
Well, I think it might be 3 or 4.
Okay, no, the 3rd episode is them defeating Demon by sending him to the Dark Ocean.
But it has explanation about Ken's Darkspawn.
They stick 2 different plot holes together and then hope they cancel out.
Chuckmon can't decide between a few episodes, so Jogress Evolve Now Hearts as One has beautiful Daiken moments. Chuckmon agrees with us about Bug Charmer's Trap. Arukenimon, the mistake of the Spider-Woman, because the Giga House episodes are fun, scary, and excellent. And as we just discussed, we also like that episode. Chuckmon also likes A Very Digi Christmas. I love Christmas, I love Digimon. The episode is so sweet and heartwarming. I love all the kids playing at Ken's house at the Christmas party. This was actually one of my top 3, but then I remembered the Spider Lady episode.
I had to go onto the O2 wiki and look through, because I'm not going to look through dozens of notes that I wrote, and I'm also...
Oh, I did.
I also didn't want to and I'm not going to just watch O2 again.
Oh, you're not? I thought you would want to.
Did you?
No.
Well, then...
Didn't have time.
There you go.
But yeah, this episode was nearly one of my top ones.
You have time. You have all that time. You randomly watch Pokemon or want to watch X-Files again when you're not watching Game of Thrones.
So dangerous not to watch Game of Thrones.
So dangerous! You've been almost spoiled or totally spoiled on so many things. I just don't know if you know.
Chuckmon also likes the Digimon World Tour. All 3 episodes.
No, you don't.
Because they're fun and in different locations. Taichi, Takeru, and Catherine in Paris will be the favourite, and Yamato's muscle shirt in Mexico, and Chicho's and Wormon's jealousy over Ken.
I noticed they have other things written down here. I think that we may as well skip them, because obviously those opinions cannot be worth anything. If you like the Digimon World Tour.
Oh, well, I like the settings, but I think they could have been done in better ways.
You could have just put them in the digital world. They put an old Japanese village in there.
Yeah. Yeah. And also the Wild West.
You know who could have been the Digimon Destiny Dingo of Australia? Just give us a Dingomon. I don't care.
Well, there is a Kangaroomon. They've also Veemon,
That's
I think.
literally the best part of all 3 episodes is that kid trying to speak English.
That's probably what I sound like when I speak Japanese, and it's scary.
Destiny Digital Dingo of Australia.
And Chuckmon also likes The Last Armor Evolution, because...
What a terrible episode.
Chuckmon loves the idea that Daisuke didn't wish for anything. He's happy as he is right now, and he can't fall prey to Belial Vamdamon's illusions.
That doesn't make any sense, though. Wouldn't he have been happy imagining beating up Belial Vamdamon?
That's why there's that theory that it was that was his illusion.
No, but the problem with that theory is that he is not personally doing it. It's mostly these random kids that were kidnapped, wishing really hard.
Yeah, but he brought his friends back, and he wanted to be the big hero.
I know, but I feel like there's more to it than that.
Fexmith chooses the last episode as best. He says that he's fully aware it's not the most well executed, but it's the one that he likes the most. Even like how they turned Daisuke's blandness into what saves him from Midasmon's attack. Bokuru in the digital world, and everyone getting a Digimon, as well as Oikawa's sacrifice.
Oikawa's sacrifice is dumb.
Kai alone says the episode that they like the most is Goodbye Ken-chan in the Japanese version. Just watch that episode the most out of all the 02 episodes. Something is special about Ken's line, "Were you always this light?" while holding Wormon. And it is a sad part, and I do like that episode.
I mean, yeah.
So for the bottom... least favorite, the worst favorite? What is the least favorite? Worst episodes, I guess?
Okay.
The worst episodes in our opinion. My number 3 was Davis Cries Wolfmon.
It's also mine.
Yeah.
That's accurate.
Because I just really don't like how he forced Veemon to evolve. He, lied to him, he tricked him, he was pressuring him to evolve. And nothing bad happened.
So that's the thing. I don't even think that conflict is that weird. I just think that the conclusion that the turtle really needed to pee, that's the weirdest thing that happened in that episode. It had potential to be good and then wasn't. That's an issue with yours. But then you look at the key conflict. It's, a turtle really wanted to take piss.
Yeah.
And it was embarrassed, I think?
Yeah, he was. And then he didn't wash his
hands. What a good episode.
But he washed his hand at the end. That was the conclusion. My number 2 is a big number 2.
He already takes a stand.
What? No, that wasn't one of mine. Mine was Big Trouble Little Edo.
You said that was much better than you remembered.
No, I didn't. I said it was worse than I remembered because it wasn't... Because I got it confused with Today Miyako is in Kyoto.
Okay.
Because for some reason those two episodes were the same. So this one was just a boring version of that. Also the Gekomon were in it. I mean, I like the Gekomon, but I just feel like, I don't know, it wasn't as good as I remember and it was very boring.
I actually have my number 2 written as every moment of Blackwell Greymon, but I had to pick one, so I picked the one where he stares at a child and says, "That child is like a flower."
My number 1 is Stone Soup.
Okay, well, mine's the Digimon World Tour. That was obvious.
Okay, yeah, I shouldn't even, doubted that. So, Stone Soup is the episode where, at the end, Shakurmon happens.
Yeah.
And it's basically just 20 minutes, which has about 15 minutes of evolutions, or what feels like 15 minutes of evolutions.
You are right, Stone Soup was really bad.
I'm surprised I didn't even list it for you. You hated that episode.
I didn't remember how bad it was. But I guess that could arguably... that would be number 4 on my list, I guess. Maybe Blackwell Greymon stuff goes below that. Maybe that's number 3. But it was really bad, you're right.
Yeah, it was just that it was evolutions, and the next episode was fine. I think we watched these two together, and the next episode we rated pretty highly, and this one we gave a 3.
The top 3 is really easy, because you're like, okay, this stood out, this stood out, this stood out. But when almost every episode's terrible, it's hard to pick the ones you hate the most.
Yeah, for me it's the bad ones I just don't remember as well. I don't remember things about them. I can't say, oh, I really like this episode because of this. I can't say, oh, this episode... I have for my least favourites, I had to, go back through my notes and see what I rated the most, or what I, didn't write much on, or just seemed aggressive during it.
I have to remember what I complained about the most.
Yeah. See, I don't complain. That's the problem with not complaining. For listener opinions, Metal Marmimon says that there are a lot of episodes they dislike, and that they're torn between The Inheritor of Courage, more for personal reasons.
Was the first episode?
Yes. And they say that they hated as a kid for feeling so much different from Adventure, and Our Digital World because the epilogue sucks. And Metal Marmimon says that even if we count that out, they still feel like it didn't do a good job of being a wrap-up to 02.
Wow, you didn't think it started or ended well. That's arguably more pessimistic than I am.
Or maybe it's optimistic because it's saying it didn't like the ending,
no, that's
so
not
it was
how
over.
That is. No. If your burrito's totally wrapped up in rancid garbage, then, what do you want? SP says that one of the worst episodes for them was the episode that focused on Daisuke and Miyako, but the worst of them all were the final 2 episodes of Mallow Veemon. They were just such a disappointment. I think I agree with you there. Chuckmon says that episode 20, The Miraculous Evolution, Gold Magnamon. They love episodes where Daisuke's golden character shines, but this one was a bit much for them. The Digi-Eggs of Miracles and Destiny are lazy writing to them. Not a convincing way to kill Chimeramon at all. They keep forgetting Chimeramon even dies here because it's so lame. Wormmon giving Magnamon his remaining energy is lame.
It also says that this strong Digimon that we just had still isn't strong enough.
He needs, a child to give him slightly more energy. Fexmave says that can they choose Hurricane Touchdown? It was incredibly bored watching it, and it had some cool ideas, but it felt so strange and really slow, and it really was. The answer is no, that you can't pick Hurricane Touchdown.
It was pretty bad, though.
I mean, no, you probably can.
It was an arty piece. It was good to look at.
You can't pick Hurricane Touchdown because it doesn't exist. It wasn't canon.
But at least it's good to look at. You can't say that it's not. The animation isn't cool.
I mean, you could make some computer backgrounds with it, I guess. But I imagine for the budget it probably had, it's very expensive computer backgrounds. And finally, Kai alone says...
Don't mock me.
I'm gonna. The worst episode might be the one where Veemon evolves. Yep, with pissing total.
Agreed.
Because the circumstances are really stupid. They don't even mind Daisuke trying to get Veemon to evolve, or them making a Digimon angry because they watched it be, or the fact that it wasn't as epic. They mean at this point, Veemon and co have plenty of experience under their belt. It would make sense that once Dark Towers weren't a thing, that evolving would come much easier to them. It's more like a full package of this episode is too much. They kind of overload it with the stupidness. They should have picked one type of wacky shenanigans and stuck with that. And I think that's fair assessment.
Yeah.
Although there are, the things that you're discounting as problems are bigger problems, I think.
There are just a lot of problems with that episode.
It's pretty awful.
On to characters now. My best characters. I'll start at my number 3, which is Mimi.
Wait, we're picking old characters as well?
All humans, and then all humans. Yeah, all humans.
All right.
So
who's my number 3?
Mimi was my number 3 because for the few episodes she's in, it's actually kind of moving how much she's changed in season 1. Her season 2 character song discusses the change, and there's a line in it that, off the top of my head, translates to something like, lift up your head, crying girl, someday you'll be Supergirl. And it seems like she's referring to her season 1 self, who was, she cried, she was girly, she was, she didn't want to fight, and she was talking about, look, you're going to be a great person, you're going to be brave, you're going to be who you are now, just hold on. And it's really nice, and to see how she's matured, I like Mimi, and then movie 4 ruins her again because the dub.
Of course it does. My number 3 was TK, because I think pure and simply how much he upsets Davis just by being around, and how much he upsets Davis by being near Kari or being a normal person and talking to somebody. And I think that's really entertaining. Also, he has development he never really got in Adventure, where he has this thing about darkness, because this is the one person I can think of who brought something with them.
Yeah.
Where, the Veemon thing happened, that's a problem. Whereas Kari was Jesus and now isn't, for some reason.
See, my point that Tucker is not on my list, spoilers, but because we didn't get any more of that He Hates Darkness, we didn't...
Yeah.
I feel like it needed more of a climax or an end to it.
Also, he was the narrator the whole time and he swerved me. I didn't see that coming.
It was nice, though. I like it.
Number 2?
Is Ken.
Crap! I didn't make room for Ken on this list. He really should be.
Yeah, he's great. I love him.
Okay, because mine was Iori here, but Ken probably wins out.
Iori made
actually, Ken shunts down TK to 4, and he's... No, yeah, so Iori is number 3, and then Ken. Iori is great because he has this nice arc about the lying and everything. Yeah. But his problem is that he starts out perfectly fine and he ends up perfectly fine. He doesn't really change.
I like Iori more than I remember. Because I remember when I started, I did not like Iori because, I just thought he was bland. But, it makes more sense. And, having analysed him, I like Iori better, but he doesn't make the list.
Okay, both our number 2 is Ken.
Yep.
Ken's awesome.
I thought you said your number 3 was Ken.
No, I said he shunted TK down to number 4. Yeah. But that pushes Iori down 1 as well.
Oh, okay, right,
to number 3.
My number 1 is Tai Chi.
It's mine too.
Yeah, because I really like how he's there, and I kind of wish he was there more, and we see how much he's changed from, the stubborn, boy he was in Adventure. He's really grown up.
Yeah, I think if you look at beginning to end, the character who changes the most is Tai, from when he is first introduced lying on the tree to we need to teach these young kids, as the war veterans that we are, that Digimon need to die.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
And we see that with the Blackwall Greymon bit. When he stops Blackwall Greymon from killing Oikawa, which, in hindsight, should have let happen.
Should have let it go.
But he didn't know that. And he was fully ready to kill Blackwall Greymon.
The theory was that he knows how to take the dark seeds out, but the answer is Ken is doing fine.
Yeah.
So
he still has the dark seed forever.
So if Oikawa dies, it'll be fine.
And I really like Tai. I didn't used to like Taichi, but now I love him.
Oh, he's the best.
Also because of how I know he's had the most attention and he's changed the most because guess what? He's the main character.
No, but Daisuke was the main character of this season and he didn't change at all. I think
he did, but just
he didn't.
A little bit.
No, I don't think he did, and I'll discuss it later. But the thing about Daisuke, about how terrible he is that because he and Tai were so similar at the beginning, looking at the end where one didn't move and one moved a ton, you see wasted potential. This is what would happen if Tai was crap forever.
Yeah.
And you know what's terrible? That.
Ready for worse characters? And you can't say Daisuke 3 times.
I can't.
You can't say Daisuke Davis, Mr. Motomiya, being Davis, not his father.
Look, Daisuke is number 1. We know that already, so we may as well get that out of the way.
Okay, so don't look at my screen. My number 3 is Willis. And I have a reason for this.
He's fine.
I know, I'm only rating him in the dub because the dub never shuts up about him for the first 10 episodes.
That's not his fault.
And it's a really it's the idea of Willis.
Also, Willis doesn't even exist.
It just seems like a really gross marketing thing. But it's a really gross marketing thing.
It is a really gross marketing.
As soon as the movie's out, there's no reference to, even when there should be a reference to Willis, when they talk about Omegamon or Miyako says, oh yeah, I saw that fight, no one ever says, oh, so did Willis. And in movie 4, no one references Willis. There's no reference to Willis after besides the first few episodes where it just seems like Izzy's just making up reasons to bring Willis into it.
Off the top of my head, because I didn't actually do a character one, I didn't list them, but number 3 would be Michael.
Why?
Because he's the first, like, extra Digidestin really to get introduced, and he's the one who sort of breaks the piggy bank. You start asking weird questions, like, why aren't they helping? Why aren't they doing anything?
Okay, good point.
There's so many weird things about having because the theory was, I've mentioned it before, if Japan has X population,
Yep.
and they have this many Digidestin, presumably there's more in other cities, actually, as well.
Yeah.
But Tokyo has 8, or 13 now, or whatever, right? If that's every Digidestin in Japan, and then you average that out for every country in the world, you're going to end up with thousands of Digidestin.
Yeah.
And then some of them are going to show up in the digital world. Maybe they can't all open digital gates, but we know that digital gates open up at random. Some of them should have showed up and been like, oh, the Digimon Kaiser, I'll fight that guy. And then later on in the world tour, you could have had cool stuff where they meet up with one. It's like, hey, you, I remember you. We fought the Kaiser together. That would have been cool.
Yeah.
Was Michael even in that?
Yeah.
I don't remember. Those episodes sucked.
Though they did bring them back for the last episode, and they did help there.
Yeah, but
they held their Digivices up. I felt they could have been used in better ways, especially the Digidestiny of Dingo of Australia.
All 80 points of light.
Yeah. My number 2 is Dubjun.
I mean, she wasn't great.
Because she
was awful in both, though.
But in the original, she's just a fangirling girl, but then they just turn up to 11 in the dub. I had trouble finding my worst characters.
I guess my number 2 would be Matt, because it's Matt. And also, randomly, he's dating Sora now.
He doesn't do anything in this season.
He's dating Sora, and it upsets both her and Tai.
Aww.
When you're dating someone and that makes them upset, that makes you a bad character.
And my number 1 is Davis.
Yes.
Davis, not Daisuke. Daisuke is okay. Davis is worse. Like in the episode where he's saying, "Oh, you spoke to my sister. I bet you said all this really mean stuff about me." About how
that was one of the worst. I bet it says I pee the bed, and I only do that sometimes.
Yeah, so they just make him more obnoxious than he is. Daisuke is, he's very stubborn. He's Thai light that just doesn't get better. But then they take that and then they just make it so much worse. They amplify it and they just make it a bad character.
But I think they're both in that slot as number 1 worst. Like, the worst thing about him is that, I feel like I've mentioned this at some stage. Oh yeah, I mentioned it earlier in my notes here. The problem with Davis is that, like, he never stopped being whiny and stupid. He may say 1 or 2, like, insightful things over the course of the show, but that's not evidence of character development. That's just him throwing spaghetti at the wall and eventually something sticking. He didn't learn anything to get there. He accidentally said something smart. That's why everyone is always surprised, because it never became a trend. Whereas with Tai, he was saying good stuff long enough that at the end, people were, midway through, in fact, they were all like, you're the leader. When we're stuck, we can rely on you because you've shown us over and over again that we can.
And the good thing about when Tai was chosen as leader, he immediately said, look, Izzy, you should do it. Because he was, they were saying, oh, what should we do? I'm like, well, Izzy will know the answer because he's the smart one. I'm not going to try and guess something that I don't have any knowledge in.
And if you look at Davis on the other hand, it's you're the leader now, kid. And he goes, yeah!
I'm going to punch things.
And then, no one ever mentions it again.
Nobody challenges it.
No one ever challenges it. And then also Tai makes fun of him later and calls him stupid.
Yeah, well, in the dub.
Having been the one to put him in that position of power, he then calls him dumb.
Yeah.
And, like, they do mention that he's the leader in the episode where he's, like, playing soccer with the tiny babies.
Uh-huh.
And they're like, why is he our leader again? It's like, well, he just is. It makes him happy. Something like that.
So I think they're just calling him the leader because it makes him happy.
I don't
They're
know.
basically babysitting him.
It makes him be quiet.
Our next discussion is about our favourite Digimon.
Oh, right. I don't have a list for this.
So my list may shock you. Airdramon's not on it because I'm not counting Airdramon.
Oh, that's weird.
I'm going to start with my number 3.
Is it Vandermon?
No, it's Palmon.
Okay.
But only because, like, she would be not my number 1, but she's not like a main character. She's not in that many episodes. I just really like Palmon. She's a plant. I like her.
I think my number 3 is... Hold on. It's not... Is it Tail? No, it wouldn't be Tailmon. I think my number 3 is Armadimon, because he says Dagya a lot.
Dagya! Yeah, okay,
cute.
I can see that. My number 2 is Veemon, and I really like... In the episode, I think it's the episode where he evolves, and is it? I think it is. and he's telling him not to give up on Hikari, and the face he gives him is so cute. It's like this little, like, he has his mouth open and he's saying, you can do it, Davis, you can do it, and it's so cute.
Yeah, I think, hold on, my number 2 is, I'm really just making this up as I go.
I'll continue while you talk.
No, I think it's Arukenimon, actually.
Yeah, no, I like Arukenimon. I like her as a baddie.
Yeah,
But
my number 1 is Veemon.
Yeah, well, I also like Veemon's armor evolutions. Like, they're very much the point of armor evolutions, right?
Yeah.
You stretch the Digimon,
Oh, I
and
think
then you
Wormmon
strap
should be on
them
this
to
list
it.
too.
Oh yeah, I love Wormmon. Wormmon tied for Palmon for number 3.
Yeah, okay.
Because I love Wormmon. I just love him. Also, Agumon. I like Agumon.
Yeah, but Agumon's really good. Agumon has the same arc as Tai does, where he's wise at the end of
Yeah.
it. He can sit down with them with a perfect evolution, or whatever, and be like,
Ultimate. He has a
"Ultimate,
conversation
I
with Black
don't
and Greymon.
remember what the levels are," and just say like, "Hey, maybe we can talk this out."
Maybe not kill people.
Yeah, and that's a tough thing to say. If you just walked up to a serial killer and were like, "Hey, man, how about make some friends?"
Yeah.
Wouldn't you be like a bit concerned that he would murder you?
Yeah, as I said, I really like the idea, like, Veemon's armor evolutions, because they basically just take Veemon, stretch him, strap the Digi-Egg onto him, go.
Yeah,
And that's what they are, and I really like that.
I guess the armor evolutions. Oh yeah, it's fine. I like his regular evolution better, which is just the
Stretched out, yes.
Stretch, make him bigger.
Yeah,
That's
and
what an evolution should be.
his evolutions make a lot of sense, and I also like his alternate line, which is Veedramon, and, Era Veedramon, and then All-Force Veedramon. And my number 1 is Amarimon, because Dugya!
Okay.
And also Submarimon's pretty useful, and kind of unique. We don't get many Digimon where you can just, we have the flying Digimon.
He and Imperial Digimon are the ones that you can ride inside.
Yeah, and I really like that.
Also, Dugya!
Dugya! And I never liked Armadimon, but now I love him because Dugya is so cute. Worst Digimans, which was so hard for me.
Third worst is Tailmon.
Really?
Yeah, because she ruins the story. With the Holy Ring.
Okay, good point. That's actually a legit reason
Because
for not
she's
liking
so
her.
frustrating, and she ruins, like, she doesn't deserve to be any higher, because she's not personally to blame with this.
Yeah.
But, like, her Holy Ring is a crux of the story that is only mentioned in, like, one line at the end, and having lost it early in the show, she is underpowered so much.
And then the movie 4 contradicts it, because they can still evolve, and she's got the Holy
presumably
Ring.
Try also contradicts it.
Oh yeah, because we see Impeltramon, yeah.
Yeah.
That's not a secret now, because, Impeltramon exists.
Yeah.
And we're watching that next week!
Yay!
For starters, I couldn't say Vegemon, or Sukamon, or Numon, or any poo monsters, because that's just too easy. And also, I like the idea of them. It's what happened when you don't look after your Digimon very well, it becomes poo.
So my number 4 worst was Wizardmon.
That's so... Oh yeah, he is in this
He's
season.
a ghost.
My number 3 is... I know, I struggle. I'm gonna say I struggled with this list. My number 3 is Digitamamon, and I don't know, I can never make up my mind about
The
him.
egg.
I know, it just... I don't know, it just doesn't seem right. Like, something about him I just don't feel comfortable with. I think it's like the endless void inside him.
I love that. It's so silly.
I don't know, there's something about him. So he's my number 3 because I couldn't think of anyone else. Sorry, Digitamamon.
What's your number 2?
My number 2 is Raremon.
What's that?
He's I know he's
Is that a
based...
sludge monster?
Yes, I know he's based on a kaiju, but I feel sorry that some kid in every city has him. I know it's probably a reference to pollution, but, like, how much would you hate to be the kid who just has the sludge?
I don't know, it's probably like one evolution each side of it is good.
I think so, but he's also, like, you don't want him.
No, probably not.
No, he's the poo monster of the version 5 V-Pet.
Sure, why not?
But I'm voting for him because, like, I actually don't like his design. I know it's based on a kaiju, but it's just really gross.
My number 2 is Mummymon, because he also ruins the story.
But I did like the part where he was basically killing himself because he lost what he loved.
As an ending, that was okay, but, like, that begins from something that makes no sense. Like, here's the thing. Mummymon is introduced, he kills all the kids, like, he soundly beats all the kids and their Digimon, and then he just leaves. And then he proceeds to make that happen, like, 4 more times in the course of the show. He constantly chooses not to win.
Yeah, okay, yeah, good point.
From him, several plot holes, like,
That's
progress.
legit.
And also, he's constantly, like, really gross.
To Mummymon,
and, like, super desperate to Spider Lady.
Yeah. My number 1 is Marshmallow Vandemon.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah, just because, like, I don't know, don't like him.
Metal Vandemon is garbage. Mallow Vandemon, Belly Owl Vandemon. He's terrible. He's just awful. And we went over this in the last episode. For just so long.
0 out of 10 should be Devimon.
2 episodes ago, sorry. Oh, he was he's so crap. His plan makes no sense, and it involves him requiring to die.
But Jay, he's the bat's knees.
He is, in fact, the bat's knees.
I
Next,
thought it was
just
funny.
go. We've talked about this guy too much.
Character development! Yay! Let's talk about the character development the character totally had.
Oh, then we did it. We finished talking about the character development, because that's what we discussed all that it was.
Good point, then none of it. As we mentioned, Taichi has a lot from compared to how he was in Season 1, Episode 1.
Mm-hmm.
Iori has some. Like,
Really?
he gets his lying arc, he gets the forgiveness.
Well, the lying arc is literally one episode in which he kind of learns that lying is kind of okay, but then that never comes up ever again.
I know, I felt like it could have... A lot of the character development in Zero Two, I feel like, could be expanded on.
And if you think about what his final... I think the thing that shows you that character development never, ever, ever happened in this in the season is the second last episode when they're seeing their illusions and their fantasies.
Uh-huh.
What it is that these characters want, alright? What does Iori want? Well, he wants his dad back. He's always wanted his dad back. That didn't change at all.
Mm.
What did what's her name? What did Kari want? Well, she wanted a world of peace for Digimon. Well, she was Jesus anyway, so that made sense. She didn't change. What did TK want? She wanted his parents back together.
That's fine.
Yeah, no, but he didn't change. Nothing about that progressed at all.
You know what I want out of Try?
What?
I mean, it's just an interesting thing. One of their parents starts seeing someone else, and I want to see how TK reacts to that.
Yeah, that'd be interesting, just to see,
Because
like...
we've seen, like, I don't think he's one of those kids to accept these parents are separated.
Yeah.
Especially when he was younger. When he was 8, he brought them back together, and it was sort of an awkward situation because he was 8 and he doesn't quite understand. And I think that he's probably still maybe not gotten over it. And even though he's like 14 now, I think. I just would like to see how he reacted to it. I don't want to break him. I don't want to hurt him. I want him to be happy, but I just want to see how he reacts.
We've discussed that Davis is exactly the same. And then if you think about it, the only person who gets any kind of character development in that final episode is Yoli. And we learn that because her family is too huge, she wants time alone, and she wants things to be quiet. Not permanently, but she needs space. But she's never, ever, ever expressed that before, and also will never, ever, ever express it again.
And then she has a big family.
Like, that's
and
it.
She has like 5 kids.
You could have mentioned that on episode 3, but it never does.
And I think we mentioned this in the last episode of Zero Two, and it was, this would have come up if the kids were forced to be in the digital world.
For sure.
If they were stuck there, that would have come up, definitely. Because it would be like, oh, you're always fighting just like my family, or oh, this is so loud just like my family. It would be a reference to it.
The problem here is I think that in Adventure, they adventure by necessity, whereas I think that's what it felt like they were doing this as a hobby, which so of course they weren't going to change.
And that's why, very early on, when I think I was ragging out Iori because I didn't like him to start with, which now I like him. And I forgot who it was, but someone sent us a message, and it was saying how Daisuke and Miyako's costumes are there to show it's a fun adventure. That, you know, she's got the aviator hat on, he's got like a fire jacket, he's ready to go. Iori's dressed for work. So he thinks it as, this is something I have to do. This is my responsibility.
He's dressed for work.
Yeah, he's dressed for work. He's dressed in an outfit. Like this is his job. But all the other kids are like, I'm going to the digital world. Yay, I'm going to the digital world. Yay. Like, you know, Yoli's she's dressed for adventure. Daisuke's dressed for adventure. Iori's serious business. Hikari's still Jesus. And the episode that...
No, she's not real. Oh, she's kind of Jesus.
The episode that didn't focus on her... Who focused on her character, you know, was Call of Digimon. And that was one episode and nothing came of it. TK, I feel like, and I mentioned this earlier, I wanted this to be expanded on. I want this darkness that he hates to, you know, actually be a plot. And I also have Mimi here because her character development from season 1, from the little girl she was.
You know what I think?
What?
I think since TK was the narrator, I don't think that bit where he punched Ken in the face actually happened. Because there were no witnesses to it.
Maybe it was something that he wanted to happen, but he was just too scared to.
Like, there were no witnesses, and it would have immediately solved the whole problem if he had actually committed to it, but instead he just walked away and left. So I feel like he was writing his book, he's like, I'm going to add a passage where I punched Ken in the face.
Yeah, this is what I wanted to happen. Like, it's a case of having an unreliable storyteller. For listener opinions, we have Metal Mamimon, who says Ken for obvious reasons. But anyway, other than him and Cody, I really can't remember any other character having any meaningful development. So as for who had the worst character development, you could say any other character, and I wouldn't argue with you.
That's fair. SP says that for them, Ken was the only decent character development. It's not necessarily the best, but it's almost the only one we got, even though Ken, after he became good, had less character than Iori, and didn't contribute to Imperial Dramon at all. As far as Daisuke goes, there was no character development. He started as the worst character ever and remains the same, just less annoying, probably because he got used to him. Miyako and Iori had some standalone character moments, but they were too few to be considered as development. Takeru and Hikari were just there. At least nobody had the worst character development. Taichi surprisingly developed further and in a great manner, even though he wasn't a main character. So his was the best overall. Chuckmon says, no one has very good character development in this season because their story is moving from one point to the next too quickly to take any downtime for character realizations and growth to happen. They're afraid that Daisuke is the worst example. Despite being a favorite of theirs, they tend to fill in the points where Daisuke grows off screen to become stronger for his next role. To be honest, they just love Daisuke's energy and has always admired guys like him that just kind of go head first into life. Example being during the World Tour when Daisuke is in New York and so excited to meet the other Digidestined of New York City. Such amazing positive energy. Sadly, the dub spoils Davis with his obsession of Hikari. That was a minor character gag with Daisuke and Hikari in the sub. Daisuke has a good heart, but he's so young and immature. They can only imagine the adventure that was starting. Noodle, come get your noodle carts in America. Fexmave says that Oikawa had a lot of character development. It's true, he did.
Yeah, he really did.
In the little time he has on screen. Oh, what's that bit? What's he saying when he runs off? Like, yeah.
Oh, you go get me, I won't let you. Something like that.
What was it, sorry?
You won't get me, I won't let you.
Yeah, I won't let you.
Yeah.
A sympathetic villain is more than we usually get in Digimon. As for the little character development, they'd choose the Digimon. In the first season, they didn't change much, but it felt like they grew a little by the end. In the second, they seemed to be exactly the same as they were in the day that they were introduced to us.
I'd agree, except for Agumon, I'd agree with that.
I can't actually remember a time in which I believe that Miyako talked to Hawkmon. She talked to, like, the wing ball version of it.
Yeah.
I can't think of a time she's
ever spoken to him. In her daydream, she offered him cake. And
sure.
She said, but she actually acknowledges that she doesn't talk much to Hawkmon because she says, I'm going to spend the rest of my time learning more and more about you, Hawkmon. But that's in the original, not in the dub.
And Kylo says that the best development is probably Ken, while him going from good to bad and good again is technically Darkspawn-induced. We also see him go from a little kid who is kind but grows to be sort of resentful, then despair and feel like he has to fill the void his brother left, then becoming an evil pseudo-version of his brother, then becoming normal again, but left with the painful memories of everything that happened so far, feeling like he doesn't deserve anything good that happens to him anymore, and thinking everyone hates him, and rightfully so, to slowly becoming more comfortable around everyone, gradually becoming part of the group, and ultimately starting his way towards forgiving himself. The worst development might honestly be Daisuke, who doesn't change much throughout the show, but they think this might have been intentional, like he's just meant to be that kind of guy. They've heard the writers wanted him to change very little, to contrast Ken changing very much, but they're not 100% certain if that's true. Either way, they think that he undoubtedly changes the least, but whether that is good or bad is up to everyone's to decide for themselves. Though obviously, it seems like everyone's pretty in agreement that it's pretty bad. Personally, they really don't mind the guy, but they get why it might bother people. I think Ken's development's really interesting because he actually does have a legitimate arc. It does feel like it could have been like a crutch on the Darkspores changing him and everything, but if you look at the final illusion where he's like seeing himself being punished, and you can really see the struggle that character went through to open up and like be when he like invited them to a party. That's a huge deal.
On Twitter, Wu Qinglong says that Daisuke is a one-dimensional character.
He is.
And the Raggedy Man says that Davis had the oddest path of development. There was some episode where he makes great progress, and then he fell back 10 steps 2 episodes later, and then bounces back. While we're on the discussion of character development, I want to show you some pictures, some screenshots I took. So, and I'll link these in the show notes. This is from the first episode where Daisuke goes to the Digital World for the first time, and, he looks at his clothes and he's like, they all changed. And for some reason, Hikari looks really grumpy behind him for some reason. I don't know why.
She has a camera that is never ever mentioned again.
She uses it like a few times in the first few episodes.
Yes. And then she is forgotten forever.
And then we have when they enter the digital world in the second last episode, which is them entering the digital world for basically the last time.
And he's looking down like, whoa, I'm in these weird clothes.
Yeah, and he's looking at himself in almost the same pose as before. And it's just, I'm not sure if it's intentional, but it's just, I don't know, it's just,
This is precisely the same.
Yeah, it's like, it's the same position. Like, he's got his arms out and he's looking down. It's just, I don't know, it's the same to me.
I don't know, I think that's just like an animator's trick of, I'm gonna look down now, this is what my body does.
And then there's Ken who just has a blank face in the background. Also, there's also a different, like, animation. Like, I don't know, it's obviously a lot darker.
Also, it was like a year later, or whatever. I don't know how long it would have taken them to do the whole thing, but that's just a long time between an artist doing one thing and another.
Yeah.
Also, you're much closer to one of them,
It
so
might
it's
be
more
different
detailed.
artists, because they've had different artists.
Could have been that too. It does look quite different.
Yeah, I'll link that in the show notes, and I posted it on Tumblr, and I don't know, it made me happy to see it, and I just, the times they are changing. Onto the episodes with changes now. I found that the episodes with the most changes were Iori's episode where he gets Submerimon.
I had to guess because I couldn't really remember a lot of like which ones had the most. I think my one of mine was because I can't say our war game, can I?
You can say our war game
because the focus on Willis as like the central character.
Okay,
that's number one because it fully changes the movie.
So yeah, I guess because we covered Hurricane Touchdown with 02, and since Willis was mentioned the first 10 episodes. Yeah, no, I get that. I also said the good, the bad, and the Digi, because it just... Deputy Mon's reason for wanting the girls is so much creepier. For some reason, I really like that episode, but I feel like a lot of people in the fandom don't like it. Like, I don't think the prodigious people liked it, but their argument was the gender thing, and also it was overhyped on TV in America.
I had totally forgotten that episode even existed, and you're right, that was fairly significant. I also think the Call of Dagon changed a lot because it was all in Carrie's head in the English. She spoke so much.
Yeah, she spoke a lot in the English version. Also, they wanted to marry her and impregnate her in the original. Yep. Kyoto Dragon I also have, but not so much because of the changes it made, but because of the amount of dumb lines that they had Zulongmon say. Like, it'd say, if you asked any more questions, I'd say you were Izzy. Like,
That was weird.
On to listener opinions. Metal Mamimon also agrees with me and says Submarimon's escape from the bottom of the sea comes to mind because of Cody's reason for being upset. The reason is changed. And ultimately, the whole point of the episode. SP says Miyako goes Kyoto because there's a lot about yokai culture, plus the fact that the dub doesn't acknowledge Joe's second brother. I would somewhat disagree because I feel like they adapted it fine. Like, they still explained it, but they just didn't go as deeply into it. Chuckmon says escape from the bottom of the sea. So again, it's the Submarimon episode. Cody being afraid of the ocean was a weird change. Also, episode 18, tracking down the base of the Kaiser. Miyako being afraid and pushing through it by being extra aggressive in searching for Ken's base was a great character development and was totally missed in the dub. Chuckmon also says that the Courageous Evolution X Veemon, peeing Tortamon ridiculous episode. I thought it was funny though, and I do love Daisuke. The plot was modified to avoid the pee.
You should stop liking Daisuke. That's the answer.
Oh, people can like Daisuke if they want.
Stop liking Daisuke.
Kai Alone says, I feel like the episode with the most changes might be Goodbye Ken-chan, the one part where Chimeramon's defeated, because it's a huge part of Wormon's speech to Ken, and it's that part which really kind of starts Ken being a good guy. In the original, for the first time in this anime, we see why Wormon is still so attached to Ken. Through his words, we get the first glimpse of Ken's true kind self. The Ken that Wormon remembers. The English dub kind of completely changes it, with Wormon implying that Ken was always the Kaiser kind of guy, always wanting to conquer the world, and it's not as a stream, thus it was okay.
I mean, it's really hard to imagine, like, these were exactly the same. So my answer was love and borscht. I don't feel like that changed, but I don't know.
Yeah, it didn't... No. They really liked Yuri.
I mean, I guess. It was the same episode, though.
I didn't have much. I just had basically whenever there's a lot of fighting, there's not much talking. I also had Invasion of the Demon Corps. I feel like they actually kept this episode pretty true.
Yeah, because it was all fighting.
But it was like plot fighting, that there was plot parts when they were talking about we have to kill the Digimon. Like, it was mainly changed. And I looked back at my notes and there were only like... I write all the English notes in blue. And there were 3 lines of blue in my notes. I'm not sure if I was lazy or if I just didn't change the colour of the text, or if...
Very few blinds.
There were just a few... There weren't that many changes. But I do think that there was some, like, violent impacts cut, which is always there.
So SP says the one with Azulongmon appears and explains everything. Although no, he's really sassy to the kids. There are actually quite a few significant changes.
Yeah, but like it doesn't have that many changes, but there are lots of dumb, stupid lines.
But that's what changes are.
Oh yeah.
When I'm thinking of like the least changes, I'm thinking you take the script and you just put it in English.
Yeah, good point.
So Chuckmon says the least changes, they're not so good with this one. I don't think anyone is. Overall, they don't change a lot in the dub. I mean, they do. They just drastically affect the mood with lame jokes and the American Saturday morning cartoon treatment. That is a change. That's a lot of stuff. Kyalone says that their best guess... the best bet would be on one of the episodes after Arukenimon was revealed to be a Digimon in both versions, but before the shenanigans in the real world. But this stuff is always harder to say, as every change feels huge because they're used to something else. And that's true. Yeah,
Kyalone grew up with the German localization. Right. Yep. On to biggest overall change. I think that I have a few, so it's hard to say biggest when I've got a few, but everyone's a lot more hostile in the dub to everybody. Like they don't want to forgive Ken. They don't want to forgive Black or Greymon. They have a completely shocking treatment of Davis. I mean, it's understandable because he's awful, but they're just all very horrible to Davis.
Mm-hmm. He deserves it.
Yeah. Also, the first 10 episodes where they keep on referencing Willis.
Yep.
And then, as soon as the movie comes out, they stop referencing him. Joe only has one brother in the dub.
Your next one is the same as mine. Yeah, and it's the one I really identified was that, they just revealed Arukenimon before she was revealed as a Digimon.
Like, her first episode, she uses a Digimon attack, and the episode title is Spirit Needle, which is her attack.
Yeah.
Ken says, oh, look, it's Arukenimon.
And she doesn't say it like, haha, Spirit Needle. She goes, Spirit Needle! Yeah, just like any Digimon would.
And she's also voiced by Togemon in the dub.
Well, I don't know if that means anything.
Chicka chicka bang bang! Needle spray!
That first one wasn't even the voice that they would have
used. I know, but I really like chicka chicka bang bang. Listener opinions. Metal Mamimon says, going by what you guys mentioned, probably the music and the added dialogue to fill silences. SP says, aside from removing violence or mature themes here and there, for me it's how the dub treats Davis, which we agree. Chuckmon says that Davis is much more unlikable than Daisuke. They make him dumb and the butt of all the jokes, and the kids in the dub are overall so much meaner and snarkier with each another. A dub standard, subs are better than dub. Also, the dub blew the mystery of Arukenimon being a Digimon, and it's really painful. Fecksmith says, certainly how they make characters a little dumber. Not that they're too smart to start with, but Davis is even worse than Daisuke, and Yoli is inferior to Miyako. At least they didn't quite give them the Moo treatment to anyone this season. Guess they didn't have to.
That's true. I mean, no one developed enough that they had to revert them back.
Yeah.
I really want them to be in that bit where she's like, I'm a Digimon, for them to do the animation of surprise, like, ah! And then, like, it cut back to her and be like, actually, we knew that already.
Yeah, no, that would have been fine, and it would fix them as maybe they thought that they already knew there was a Digimon and it was a mistake, but they could have at least referenced try to fix it up. I don't know. Kyalone says the entire tone is different, how the characters interact is different. Davis keeps calling TK the wrong name, and Wormmon is kind of evil and enjoys some parts of being evil during the Kaiser arc.
You said when we took over the world that I could fly Digimon.
Yeah, and we forgot about that. Like, Wormmon in the dub kept on saying, remember when you just wanted to enslave Digimon? That was fun, wasn't it?
Really crap.
Yeah. Unanswered questions, which is
yeah,
and any untied knots.
Sure.
Is Hikari still sick?
Why did you get British when you said if she's still sick?
I'm really concerned. Why is this plot point forgotten? She was very sick in season 1.
Mm-hmm.
Does Ken still have his spore? Is Try answering this by him being evil again?
I have a few questions of my own.
What are they? I'll see if I can answer them.
No, I'm just gonna rattle through them.
Okay.
What were the Holy Stones? Where did Shinlongmon go? Why didn't Vandemon just possess Ken? Why didn't Vandemon start by sending Digimon Why did Vandemon start by sending Digimon into the digital world rather than just getting the seed from Ken originally when he would have complied? Because, as we know, he had the seed and built the towers anyway and would have complied with Obikawa because the other Dark Seed kids did. Did Vandemon know he'd be punched into the digital world? Who was Demon and why was he after Ken? What was up with Dagomon in the Dark Ocean? Why did Genai never mention he had the Holy Ring? How did Genai get young again? What was that Dark Seed in Genai's back? It was different to the shape that was in Ken's. If you can copy the Dark Rings, why can't you copy the Holy Ring? Would it not still Jogress when it's on her? If they can't Jogress, then how does Pale Dramon Jogress in the movie? And how does Omnimon progress before that? Why did Peldrimon progress in
That's
the
a
movie?
lot of text.
And why did Vandemon eat Spider Lady and Mummymon? If Oikawa was actually a Digidestin the whole time, how come he didn't get a Digivice? Why didn't Spider Lady and Mummyman kill the kids the actual 4 times they had just won instead of choosing to run away? Why, when he had established he's unbeatable, does Vandemon not kill all the kids surrounding him and instead just stands there like a dope until they figure out how to kill him? Why was Daisuke made the leader in the first place? If everyone thinks he's crap and constantly disrespects him and is astonished when he shows even the slightest bit of common sense, why were the goggles given to TK or Kari? What happened to Kari's Jesus powers? What happened to the Crest of Kindness? If you could just destroy the crest by exploding them, why didn't Devimon just do that instead of hiding them? When Wizardmon / all other Digimon who die in the real world possess people, since they can become ghosts, what happened to the Digi-Egg of Miracles? Does the Digi-Egg of Destiny even exist? Black or Greymon? Why? And finally, now that more mystery has been piled upon the enigma here, who is Willis?
I can't answer any of those questions. That's a lot of loose ends that don't have ties. But they do have tai chis.
He called me a punk. I've used that in conversation.
I'm so proud of you.
It's such a silly line, delivered so perfectly.
It's my favourite.
Why are you upset? He called me a punk.
He called me a punk. Speaking of which, we are now discussing funny quotes. Yay! First of all, obviously, he called me a punk.
What did that guard back there say to make you so angry?
He called me a punk.
There was a time when that would have been a compliment.
Yeah, I guess so.
Times have changed.
Yeah, for the better.
Second of all,
He's just a kid like you, Davis!
You gotta outrun him. You can do it, and even if you can't, we won't think any less of you, man. Some nice friends you got there, Davis.
it's the voice, and it's the delivery, and it's just...
I'm actually so stuck on why didn't Devimon just destroy the crests, now that you've proven that you can.
Maybe he's just... Shut up! This is a line from the original that I liked, and
Oh, that's funny.
it's Ankylamon to Nightmon in the Mysterious Ruins Holy Stones, and Nightmon's hitting him with the sword, and Ankylamon says, "A sword isn't made for hitting, Dugya!"
The sword is made for hitting.
I don't care, I love him, and he's precious. He's very special to me. Here's a line from The Good, the Bad, and the Digi. Miyako runs into Iori and is wondering why he's rushing.
Hey, be more careful next time. Cody, what have you been eating lately? You must have gained 20 pounds. It's Upamon. You ate Upamon?
In episode 11, when they removed potential character growth from Davis, they try to convince him, oh, look, we all tried and none of us can pick it up, it's your turn. And Daisuke says, look, I can't pick it up, I don't know what friends are, I don't understand friendship, so how am I supposed to react to this Digi-Egg? The dub ruins this and make it a joke.
I think you guys are going about this all wrong.
So, you think you can lift it up?
Yeah, you just have to use physics.
What do you mean?
You see, in physics, there's this little thing called equilibrium. When you have two libriums that weigh the same, they're equilibrium.
That makes perfect sense to me.
Huh? You know, Ty, I was just making that stuff up. I really don't know anything about physics. I usually leave all that stuff up to professors and scientists, and Izzy, I didn't think you'd take me seriously.
Oh, I'm sick of all your blabbering, Davis. You're the only one who hasn't tried yet, so just get in the hole.
Yeah, lift that Digi-Egg up so we can get out of here.
Hey, I could have put my eye out.
I guess, like, I didn't make a list of this one, but off the top of my head, I have the Digi-Destiny thing almost earlier. Also, I'm going to the summer memory.
That doesn't count. It doesn't count when they're speaking English.
It's really funny.
It's not their first language.
Okay, no, I'm going to the summer memory, even translated, is really silly.
No, it's the part that he says before that, which was, please tell Mum Amy, I'm going to the summer memory. And after linguists have studied this for generations, we know that he's saying, please tell Mum, comma, Amy, that I'm going to the summer memory. He has a sister called Amy, apparently. It's not Mum Amy.
Right.
The summer Amy.
The
The summer memory.
summer memory. Oh, I feel bad.
No, I feel bad because it's not the first language. Do you have any more favourite dub lines?
I
You
can't
remember?
off the top of my head. I'm trying really hard, but I can't.
He called me a
He
punk.
called me a punk.
Now's your time to shine, Jay, because we're on to the negative portion of the podcast.
Right. I actually didn't write down very much for this.
Neither did I. I wrote down 2 points. I'll let you go first, because I always go first for
Okay.
these.
The negatives of this show were that I had to watch it. Also, Blackwell Greymon, all the unanswered questions, Vandermon, Davis, the no-developed relationships between kids and Digimon, and at the end of the day, what did Hawkmon even teach Oli? Nothing.
I'm just going to add on to that. I also would have liked to see Digimon interacting with other Digimon partners, which we don't see. We don't see partner Digimon interactions. My points are, saw us in like 5 episodes, and I feel like a lot of the adventure kids are kind of pushed to the side, except for Izzy and Tai. Yamato's kind of in a few episodes, but he seems only as comedic relief because Davis' sister's in love with him. And that just, I feel like they're not used as well as they could be. And Sora's like, Mimi has a reason not for being around, because she's in America. Joe's studying, that as per usual, and Sora's just kind of, like, she's there. They go to high school with them, so I just, And the negative is just, the kids being horrible to each other in the dub is just really not a good thing. I don't know. See, we don't have that many negatives. On to positives?
I guess they did the idea of an evil Digidestined, even if they did it in a pretty nuded way.
Yeah, I liked the evil Digidestined storyline. I feel like they should have done it more. And maybe we get it done well and try.
That's what I got. That's all of it.
My positives are episode 1, entering the digital world, mirrors episode 29, as I mentioned earlier. I know I really liked that. I hope it was intentional just because I liked it.
How did it mirror it?
I showed you the pictures.
I mean, there was a single frame of animation that was similar.
Okay, just shut up. I want to be intent. Just let me have this positive, okay? It makes me happy. I really like the D3s and the D-terminals, but this may just be nostalgia vision.
That is 100% nostalgia vision because A, the D3s are silly, and like they're really specific to make these kids special, so much so they had to take 2 of the original Digivices and literally transform it in the kids' hands just to make them fit into the season. And second of all, the D-terminals are regular devices you could buy at a supermarket in Japan because they weren't given to them as part of the Digidestined thing. They just happened to be devices with Ds at the start of them.
I like the toys.
If they were just called cell phones or PDAs, they wouldn't have been a product you could sell kids.
I love Palmon and Mimi reuniting. They're under attack, and they're about to be attacked, and then the vines come out of the bushes and grab Mimi, and Mimi says, "Palmon!" And then when they see each other, they just hug and cry, and it's great, and I love them.
Sure.
I also like in the good, the bad, and the Digi. I loved how, in the end, they were both kind of evil, but one had the dark spiral and one didn't. And the one who didn't was still kind of evil, and was kind of like a scummy person.
I mean, I guess.
And it's the same sort of thing as with the Roach brothers, where they would get on really well, and they're a good team. Like, okay, brother, let's do this formation attack. And then they take off the dark rings, and they're bickering, and they're horrible.
I guess?
I know, I just really liked that aspect. I also really liked how Ken tried to, when he was the Kaiser, tried to enslave the partner Digimon, and we got Skull Greymon and Virus Metal Greymon. I know, I just really liked how he tried to do that, and that's what you wanted Veemon to do, and you thought he was stupid for not doing.
That's correct.
Best arc.
The Kaiser arc.
Kaiser arc,
we mentioned it earlier.
Yep. Demon Core was okay, but the ending...
Very short, ended badly.
The ending ruined it. Onwards to Tamers.
Yeah.
What do you think about Tamers before I show you anything?
So, I'm aware there are cards. I think I've mentioned earlier that there's going to be, like, equipment and stuff, so you can upgrade your Digimon on the fly with, like, these cards. But I predict that I'm going to be annoyed, because I feel like any kind of upgrade is going to be Digimon or Destined specific, which means that they're going to operate essentially like crests, just broken up into pieces. I also think I'm going to dislike the Renamon girl, mostly because I've built up years of disdain for Renamon, because they're super designed like a Pokemon.
Yeah.
That is a Pokemon. That is what that is.
And who do you think? What do you think the characters will, the main kids will be?
You've already shown me 2 of them.
How many do you think there are?
I think there are 5.
And what character traits do you think they are?
Is this the season with the fat one?
No.
Oh, okay. Well,
I know you're looking forward to him.
I don't know.
Season 4.
Then I don't know how many kids there are, because I feel like I'm just remembering on the intro you showed me once. I don't know, man.
And, okay, do you know about any of the Digimon, besides Renamon?
I know there's the red dinosaur as well.
He's so cute!
Sure, why not?
What about another one?
I don't know any others.
Okay, I'm going to show you a bit of promotional material.
Okay. This
was from Digimon Mag comic book number 6, which...
A classic collector's item.
There's no date for this. It is a collector's item. Is there a date on this? There should be. Published in 2001 by Autopress. It contained the...
Okay,
the
why are
Bakemon
you
episode.
advertising the whole thing? Are you just bragging about this thing you own?
Yes, okay. You ready?
Well, sure.
This is not your little brother's Digimon. The third dynamic season of the wildly popular Digimon Digital Monsters on Fox Kids introduces new, more exciting, more action-packed adventures than Season 1 and Season 2 combined.
Okay, so there are three kids, one that has a Terriermon. Alright, got it.
Takado, Rika, and Henry are 3 kids who believe Digimon is just a television show.
Henry does seem like a weird name for a kid in this show.
Yeah, I can't pronounce his real name.
Oh, really? What is it?
It's Chinese because he's Chinese.
Oh.
Yeah. So imagine their shock when the Mon in a million chance of them actually getting their very own Digimon partners happen to be real. Suddenly, this TV-watching trio is caught in a strange new dimension formed by the intersection of Earth and the digital world, where they must fight for their lives against the most powerful monsters ever.
Wait a minute, so on their televisions, they were also disappointed by the epilogue?
They're actually lying to you. They don't watch... Digimon isn't a TV show in this universe.
Oh.
It's in the dub. It's just a card game in the original.
Okay.
Anyway.
Does it have a backstory like Magic, in which Tai exists?
New heroes need new rules, and in the real world, Digivolving isn't as easy as it is on TV. But these kids are tough, and they have the D-power on their side.
They have the D-power!
A new Digivice, even more powerful than the Season 2's D3.
Oh, that's dumb. Oh my god. Hold on. Oh, that's lots to take in.
You alright?
Oh, that's crap.
Okay, the next thing is from the Fox Kids website, which I brought up on the Wayback Machine. Unfortunately, I couldn't find the super old...
That first line is really funny.
Hang on.
What is he doing there?
I'll get to it in a second. Why is the S so big? I was trying to find this really old picture of Takado and Rika and Henry, and their lips are really big, and it was from the Fox Kids website, but I couldn't find it.
Lips.
So first of all, I wanted this music can play.
No. Just go. Forget everything you know about Digimon. This time, it's for real. With 3 new kids and 4 new 4? What? An all new season of Digimon Digital Monsters is more excitement, action, and adventure than ever before. Takado has grown up watching Tai, Davis, and all the other Digidestin on the Digimon Digital Monsters television show, and playing the card game. Imagine his surprise when he accidentally creates his own Digimon. This is the dumbest thing I've ever heard! Killmon in the real world. He's not the only kid in town with a Digimon, though. ...
And Gomamon's just chilling on the page for some reason.
Wait, so he sees Tai before? Is that why he wears crap goggles?
I don't know.
D-power.
It's a good thing they have the D-power. More powerful than the D3 on their side. What do you think about it?
Oh, it's so stupid. I don't know why you like it. It looks awful.
Palmon's chilling.
Why does it have
God,
a big, stupid, plastic thing sticking out the top of it?
Also, I would like to formally invite our listeners to
Please
go
don't.
back to the year 2000.
Oh, so dumb. That's crap.
Doesn't that bring us back, listeners? And now I'm going to show you a commercial.
Is this 10
A
minutes?
Fox? No, it's not. It's just it's a lot. There's only one commercial. It's like 40
I thought we'd be done
seconds.
like half an hour ago.
Okay, you ready?
No.
High-level wild type. Bioemergence now imminent. Primary tracer activating. I've never seen anything like it. Shall I stop him?
Not just yet. I'm interested to see what this one does.
What is that?
What if the game became real?
I remember having a card like this.
What if you found out its secret?
And this thing is a real Digivice.
What if you were the only one who could see it?
It was real. You gotta believe me.
On September 1st,
I created a Digimon.
game over. Reset reality. Digimon Season 3. Can you see it?
I think I might die.
Why? This is like the fandom's accepted best one.
And yet here we are, and I feel like my chest is about to implode from lack of interest. I've never been so disinterested in something that I felt like my bodily organs would shut down. But here we are!
So what I think you'll think about this season is that I'm worried that you won't like it. I think you'll think that Card Slash is dumb for the first 15 to 20 episodes at least.
It does have a terrible name, and I keep seeing people being excited, like, yeah, Card Slash! I'm like, oh my god, this is the worst thing ever. This is exactly the same as someone being very excited, being like, yeah, duel! Or I named my trap card! Oh yeah!
No, but when we played Vanguard at university, they would all scream, stand up my Vanguard.
I know, and wasn't that the lamest thing that ever existed?
They made me say it, so I stopped playing. I got into it, and then like people kept on trying to make me say.
Did you? I didn't know you got into it.
I got into it, yeah. Yeah, and then, I stopped because everyone was saying, no, I won't play with you unless you...
Really? They said that?
Yes.
Wow, only losers played that game.
Yeah. Didn't you get into the game? You played a nurse deck.
I bought a deck, and then I tried to play it, I didn't understand it, and I regretted buying it.
Is it because you didn't say stand up my Vanguard?
I don't know what happened to those.
You sold them to Anthony.
Did I?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh god, I hope I got money out of it.
You did.
Sick.
You got at least $20, I think.
Oh, thank god. Alright, good.
I would also like to say that I've only seen the first 30 episodes in English. I've seen it all in Japanese, but I've only seen the first 30 episodes in English because it was released weirdly here. That's why we can't get it on DVD, because we're not sure who owns the rights to it, because it just kind of happened and then stopped happening after 30 episodes. And I'm guessing the dub still has a lot of dumb, stupid lines. So I'm also guessing it'll be pretty similar to pre-Nimoy dubbed Digimon, as Tamers is post-Nimoy because he'd left at this point. He comes back, season 5.
Wasn't Nimoy throughout the whole thing?
No.
When was he introduced?
When the dub started to get less bad. So 15 episodes into Adventure. So,
I feel like we're going to have huge problems with the idea that, like, the show we just watched is on the television. Don't give me that face.
Yeah.
I really want him to yell at the screen like, really? Belial Vamptamon? He's back? This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. The worst part about that is that's a universe in which he could go down to an office and talk to some people and be like, hey, the show you're making is not good. He could find a script, like he could sneak in and like punch a script until Matt is slightly more tolerable.
Yeah. But I will show you Digi World this week. Fexme suggested that I show Jay Bokura no Digital World, and I'll show you the translation.
My response is, it's a song.
You said it was cute. You sent me a message saying it was cute.
Sure, why not? And you needed some kind of reaction to know I'd watched it. Then I said Digitaru Wordo, and you said that you were about to cry, and I thought that was weak.
No, I was about to cry.
Weak you are.
I was about to cry because it's a very cute song, and I don't know, they're all saying goodbye, and I really like it, and I'm having a very strong reaction to it. It's very cute. I like it.
They're not even dead.
TK's in it twice.
Try exists now. They're not even dead anymore.
Well, they did get kind of hurt.
No, I understand why you'd be sad with like, oh, this is the last thing ever. We're never going to have them back. But they're back now.
Okay, well, I remember listening to it before I knew Try was a thing, before anyone knew Try was a thing. It was just... If you didn't know Try was a thing, would you have had any emotions to it?
No, I didn't feel like O2 was a good enough ending, and so now I'm like, well, it's we euthanized it, it's fine.
I hope 02 hasn't killed your love for Digimon.
What love for Digimon?
You
can't kill what never was alive.
So I really like Bokura no Digital World, and whenever I listen to it, I'm like, aww, and they'll say goodbye, and the original children are there, and the 02 children are there, and their Digimon are there, and they say goodbye, and the narrator's there, and I love it, and it's great. Arigato de ya!
Pio?
Arigato! Chi! It's so cute, and they're all, it's, and I like how they have the characters acting like themselves, and it's very cute.
Alright, join us for the next episode of Rosario Vampire, Digimon Try Chapter 2, Ketsui.
Which means determination. Demertimation.
Also, the most important news, I won the poll.
Yes, Jay won the poll. Orphanimon won by 21 votes.
A full 4%.
And 555 people voted. So, yeah, sadness. Holydramon is not preferred.
This is fantastic news. I think we can all agree that Orphanimon is now canon.
We'll find out and try.
You only won by that many votes because I accidentally voted for Holydramon one time.
Okay, good point. The show notes will be linked in the description. You can contact us, and if you want to stay updated, we post some things related to the show. You can email us at LostinTranslationmon@gmail.com. please bold your like 1 or 2 sentences, like your main points that you want us to read. You can follow us on Twitter at LostinTranslationmon, and we're also on Vine at LostinTranslationmon. We're LostinTranslationmon on Tumblr. We're LostinTranslationmon on Facebook and YouTube. We have discussion thread on With the Will. We'll be on the Digimon subreddit, and I'll link that in the iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, whatever description. You can comment on this episode on SoundCloud. You can message us on SoundCloud. You can review us on iTunes and Stitcher, and I'll probably find out in a month when my subscription email tells me about it, which is why it's always very delayed. So if you do tell me that you leave a review, or I'll just find out when I find out. Thanks to our Patreon supporters, Stevie Panamon, who hosts a podcast with another Patreon supporter, Sam Krieger. It's called The Moncast, and they talk about Pokemon and Digimon. Wu Qinglong, who you can follow on Twitch, twitch.tv/WUQINGLONG. Metal Marmimon, Joe, Penguin Mage, Anime Guy, who you can follow on YouTube, Anime Guy Kurosaki, and then the number 1. Chakmon, Ishpal Bambwa, Hiro Alato, who's Hiro Alato on Twitter, Jason Morosky, and Frost Moragic on Twitter. And we'll see you guys next week for Try.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Digimodify! Podcast activate! 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 Activate!